Hi, I'm DJ Rad Key, and welcome to what is now my 64th vlog in the series. Thank you for joining me. Today is Monday, August 27th, 2018. I do have school today at the Scratch Academy, and it's a very big day at the Academy today because I will be taking my Milestone 3 final exam. In order to pass on to Milestone 4, I'll need to score at least an 80%, which I'm confident I'll score an 80%, but haven't had great success at these tests. I feel that I might overthink, over-prepare, and overanalyze the situation at hand. And as Shinobi, my other fellow junior, said, just enjoy the moment, have some songs ready, have a plan, but try to be a little more loose and a little more free, but do use the headphones. He mentioned to me, he's like, man, why didn't you use your headphones last time? Immortal told me that. Fiello told me that. High Def didn't use headphones for his test, and that they both Immortal and Fiello mentioned High Def, hey, why don't you use your headphones? I always looked at them as training wheels, but I should use them this time. Update the student profiles. We've had the graduation ceremonies on Friday, so we've got a new fresh batch of students now. We've got part-time students. I've met a few of them. Xavier is a one-day-a-week part-time student. He just started last week. He seemed pretty cool. He actually showed up to graduation ceremonies and stayed almost through the whole thing, which was pretty cool. I gave all the new students that I bumped into an invite saying, hey, the graduation is Friday. You should attend. It'd be great. It'd be great to see their DJs perform. And I believe I talked to 5 freshmen, and Xavier was the only one that actually showed up. So pat on the back to him for representing. The other part-time student, his name escapes me. He's, I believe, also one day a week as well. And then the 3 freshmen that are in the full-time accelerated program are Heckno, which is a great name. I've discussed that before. His real name is Hector. He's from Indiana, but has moved to Florida to pursue DJing. He's relocated permanently and hopes to make it down here in Miami. So, it's always good to have someone like me who's an up-and-comer and decide to, call Miami home and make a career of this. And then you have Jerry, and Jerry is originally, I believe, from the U.S., is a citizen of the U.S., has lived in Mexico. I believe his ancestry is Mexican, and he has come to just for Scratch, just to Hollywood, Florida, to learn DJ school, and then go back to Mexico and take all the skills he's learned as a Scratch alumni and utilize them in the Mexican nightclub scene. He seems very knowledgeable in the nightclub scene. I spoke with him for about 15 minutes candidly one day after class last week. He seems like a really cool guy. And props out to Jerry, who's actually showed up on days that he did not have class and practice, which I always recommend and which I do as well. I did have the pleasure of bumping into another student named Frank. And Frank is joined us on Friday as a new freshman in the accelerated program. I believe he signed up for the part-time program, and then after one day at the part-time program said, hey, I want to be in the accelerated program. What do I got to do? So he signed off on the documentation and made it official on Friday, joined those 2 other students, and we've got a 3-member freshman class of accelerated program and a few other part-time students who, as I meet, I'll interject them into these vlogs. Of course, there's me and Shinobi, who are both juniors, but we'll be moving on to seniors following today, assuming we'll both have 2 successful final exams on the Milestone 3. And again, Milestone 3 is finding your sound, so things that we did kind of learn along the way, we've got to incorporate into our set. So our exam is going to be 15 minutes. All the exams are 15 minutes. This one, the key elements they're looking for are tricks. Now, to be a little more specific, slams, where before we were gradually blending in a song, phrasing it into the new song. Now they want us to, boom, catch a moment in that song and slam it in there, literally slam it in there. And that takes technique, obviously. Backspins, getting out of a song, you hear that kind of weird futuristic spinning sound. That's what we call a backspin. That's another technique we need to use. Finger drumming, that's taking parts of the song, different cue points, lining them up. We have a pad that we place down and connects into our computer. Some mixers provide a pad, but we're going to utilize the pad and boom, 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 finger drumming. Tone play are not exactly words or phrases in a song, but just sounds. So some DJs are really good at picking out certain tones and using them to create their own little song, their own little, I guess, live remix, you'd say. Another thing we're going to have to utilize in the exam is effects. Echo, filter, reverb, most popular, creative ways to fade in and fade out. Just taking it to the next level. And one of the things we had to do was we had to incorporate one of our own remixes in. We have to also do that as well as one of our own remixes in this one, and we also do a live remix, which is essentially layering an a cappella and an instrumental, also called a mashup. Mashup's a term that's been used for the last 15 years or so, relatively new, taking different genres, music, different genres, song, and kind of layering them together. And what I'm going to do for my exam is EDM, your dance, heavy, high beats per minute, roughly 120 to 130 beats per minute songs, and putting rap lyrics on top in parts where the songs are not so intense. And it's tricky. It's going to be a very difficult project. It's a difficult task. But again, I'm in the accelerated program and more than halfway through. So, and these are all things that are expected as we move forward. Some other things are wordplay. Like if somebody's like, oh, I got the money, and the new song is money, 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 or cash, cash rules everything around me, me, and the new song has me, and you kind of get the idea, using words from one song to another song, so they almost create the same lyrical structure, which is pretty tricky to do. You can find good songs that it works for, some songs it just doesn't, even though the words sound good, it just doesn't work together as a live set. So these are all things I need to incorporate in this set. And like I said earlier in the vlog, going with headphones this time. I'm going to do on CDJs this time. And just to kind of give you a little more detail of what we have as options as students is we have three things, essentially. A controller, which is the unit you would probably traditionally see at bars and restaurants. It would be a one-piece unit that incorporates both a mixer and two turntables. So that would be option A, would be a controller, which I have a controller at home. It's a Pioneer SX2. We would be using the SZs at the Academy, which are a much bigger version, about twice as much money and about twice as big. That's an option. I tend not to use controllers because I can do, like I said, have one at home. We can use the turntables, which I've used on all my exams, and I plan to use on all the exams beyond this one. But I felt I at least needed to do one exam on CDJs to show that the instructors I can still use CDJs. Even though I think CDJs are much easier to use, I don't like CDJs as much because, first off, they're very expensive, so the more likely I'm not going to own a pair of CDJs anytime soon. If I do save enough money and I do find some kind of employment, I'm going to go buy vinyl, and vinyl's a little bit cheaper than the CDJs, and I like it a lot better, and it looks a lot cooler, I'm not going to lie. When someone's on vinyls, and even if someone knows what's up, they think it's cool, and if they don't know what's up, they think it's cool. So visually, it looks a lot cooler, but besides just the look, I like the feel of it. I like the feel in my hands of the records. So again, those, you have the CDJ option, which I'm using this time around. Shinobi's on CDJ on each of the exams. I've seen other students use the controllers on the other exams, but I think Shinobi's definitely a CDJ kind of guy. And when I say CDJs, that's essentially, for the novice viewer out there, it looks like a turntable, but a computerized version of a turntable. So it's about the same size, same look. It just has a lot of different options. And instead of having a place where the record is, you have just a plastic circle, I guess you'd say, in replace of the record. And it really does feel like you're playing with a toy sometimes, as opposed to a real record. So those are your three options when taking exams. The school does not require you to use any or all of the three, but I feel like I'm going to at least use CDJs once this time. A couple other things just to kind of wrap up this vlog and give you a little more insight to where the Academy's at. Our last day, as far as mine and Shinobi's, will be October 8th, so it's creeping up. And I'm not really looking forward to leaving. I want to stick around, but, life passes and things must go on. So it's kind of funny, like I walked into the Academy on Saturday, and with the seniors now, moving on, and Worley and High Def not around, who are the other additional seniors, I'm like the elder statesman of the Academy. After only just 2 months, the majority of the time when I walk in there, with the exception of instructors and an occasional alumni that might come in and out, I'm the most experienced person in the room, which is kind of an odd, funny feeling, knowing that, 63 vlogs ago and 63 days ago, I didn't even know how to turn most of the equipment on. So being that now I'm the veteran, I'm kind of looked at other students, newer coming students, like, how does this work, or how do I turn this on, or why doesn't this needle work, or a student who was a graduate but super unfamiliar with the equipment, she had come in and was wondering about how to set up the CDJ, so I actually assisted her, which was kind of cool, because I'm thinking in my head, well, granted she's an alumni, but maybe it's been a while, or just never gravitated towards CDJs or whatever, and I was able to help her out, which was kind of cool. Didn't have all the answers for all her questions. I hope to do. So troubleshooting is another thing that, I'm going to be working on soon, where I want to be able to go into every station and figure out the equipment, like how, if something goes wrong, how can I fix it? So that's a thing that's coming up in the Academy this week, will be the troubleshooting aspect of, okay, is a wire crossed? Is something loose? Is something pulled out? Is something broken? What can I do to fix this on the fly? And I'm really excited about that. And then we're also doing production. production with Ableton, and I'm not really super excited about that, but it's part of the game. I'm not really big on the production end of things. I've discussed that in vlogs before, but it's good to learn, it's good to know. Some students love it, like Shinobi's loving the production end of it. It's really not for me. I'm actually really excited about more of the business aspect and fixing equipment and getting stuff to play and run, and if I can get songs up and running, that's half the battle right there. So that's kind of what's up in my life. That's up with the Academy. We have the test today, like I said. I'm sure I'll do well, and then we're on to Milestone 4. So I'll talk probably more about Milestone 4 this week, and also other things going down at the Academy. But as always, you can find out everything that is DJ Rad Key on djradkey.com. Of course, always be good to people. Say hi to a stranger. Give a friend a call you haven't talked to in a while. And just be a good person. Just be a good person. If everybody's a good person, the world's going to be a lot better place. And as always, peace.